Boys, I can't believe that I'm saying this already, but we have to stop collecting set 1 collection cards. And I'm going to be talking about why we need to end up doing this, because this is going to actually end up helping you guys in the long run. It's going to make sure that you guys can have the best team possible. Now, I also am going to be talking about in this video how it's still very important to end up getting these set 1 cards. And especially the first 2 of the 3 of these guys definitely should end up making your team, and you should have these guys for a long time. These guys are going to be able to be used for the next couple of months, as it seems like set 1 is going to end up being done in about a month. But you're still going to be able to use set 1 cards in set 2, and you're going to be able to use them the whole game if you end up using your wild card. Right now, that is my plan for the 99 overall Chipper Jones, so he can be on my team all year long. But we're going to be going over this. Before we get into this video, make sure you guys drop a like and a sub, as we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and let's get right into it. So right now, I am at 140 cards for the set 1 collection. And how I have ended up doing this is I have bought certain cards. For example, I have almost all of the lower tier cards, as I ended up buying a lot of them. The only cards that I really don't have are some of the low tier diamonds, and then on top of that, some of the tops now that I still haven't finished the moment yet. I am grinding those probably by the end of today. But I have 141 done. So we have Chipper, we have Trey Turner, we have the God Squad, but that we really want. And today we're going to be talking about kind of how you guys should probably stop locking in some of these really big cards. For example, one of the biggest problems that I have had that I've already kind of regretted is locking in guys like Manny Machado, who's going for 68k. For locking in guys like Eddie Matthews, who's going for 67k. Whenever I can end up getting a lot of these guys, no money spent, without wasting a ton of stubs. And it kind of just makes you think that you shouldn't end up locking a lot of cards in, because you're going to keep on getting multiple free cards throughout the game. We're getting all of the Tops Now cards. We're getting all of the egg hunt cards and all of these event cards and all of these battle royale cards that are ending up coming to help your collection total, where you guys are going to be on top. And so it's one of those things where you're just wanting to figure out where you end up. I had one thing that I heard from one of our YouTubers that I've actually kind of talked to a little bit, is that he kind of said he's going to be done after he ends up getting the set 1 collection. And I kind of get why you would end up doing that. And so that's what I'm going to be recommending to you guys in today's video, is that you guys got to figure out an out point. For me, my out point is 200, because I'm going to end up going after Babe Ruth. I don't really care about Pedro Martinez at all, because he's a pitcher with 106 hits per 9. There's going to be plenty of pitchers like that. Although he's not a bad pitching card, I'm not going to end up spending a million stubs and a lot of extra grinding, like 30 hours of grinding, probably a million stubs, to end up finishing the whole set 1 so you get Pedro. I'm going to be okay with not getting that card, and my end point is going to be Babe Ruth. And so one of those things you guys got to ask yourself is, what do you want? Who do you want? And for me, that is, I want Chipper and I want Babe Ruth. Both of the guys will actually end up making my God Squad. Believe it or not, I am going to have a trial run with Babe Ruth in right field. I think Babe Ruth is going to end up being in right field. Trey Turner is probably going to go back to second, and then Manny Machado is probably going to get booted from the lineup or put in the DH, because either Babe Ruth's taking an outfield spot or I've got Ken Griffey Jr. on my sights. But it's just something that you guys got to keep in mind for your team and what you guys want to end up doing. So I would definitely recommend only getting 1 and 2 of the set 1 collection cards, and I would make sure that you're not locking in a lot of these cards, because you're going to want to end up selling these cards eventually. Like Manny Machado is a guy that he's not going to make my in-game team, although he's a really good card right now. He's not perfect, not everything I want him to be. And so he's probably going to end up getting the boot. So you got to keep in mind, for those cards that you're kind of on the fence about, that are pretty good but aren't just absolutely unreal, those are the cards you're going to want to make sure that you don't lock in. One of the biggest mistakes I also see that people do with finishing the set 1 collection is whenever you are grinding Team Infinity, the best way to kind of do it, you can see that I have 100% here, 100% here, 94% here, 100% here, and then I'm at 65 and 62. So I'm not completely done with Team Infinity, but I'm like pretty dang close. I've gotten a lot of these cards. That's how I end up having Chipper and pretty much the whole collection done. I haven't bought a ton of these. I've gotten these no money spent. Is whenever you are grinding Team Infinity, it is important that you end up grinding mini seasons and doing my whole method if you haven't checked out that video. But it's making sure that you are going after all of the repeatable XP and the Henchman XP But one thing that's not a bad idea is picking a really good team to where you'll have henchmen and you'll have the captain cards, but you'll have them from multiple different teams. So whenever I'm grinding mini seasons and I'm making that lineup, every single one of these players is someone that is a henchman or a captain, the whole team. And so you don't want to have anybody who's not, because that way you're getting as much XP as possible. And then whenever you're done with the run, you'll have parallel XP, you'll have the vouchers, and you'll have all these different XPs per different team affinity. And so you're going to be working on the whole thing. I know that sometimes it's a grind and it's not fun, but make sure that you are doing as much as possible to minimize the amount of time that you are grinding this game. Nobody wants to be sitting in many seasons grinding this. That's one of the big mistakes that people do whenever they end up trying to finish Team Affinity. This year we just have so many good cards coming into the game. We've got Ken Griffey Jr. as part of the game. We've got Jorge Posada. We got a lot of these new guys that we are grinding for right now. And it just makes you think that sometimes it's best to just have stub flow. And so stub flow is really important in this game. So make sure that you guys aren't screwing yourself over in the end by holding onto these cards, and then you're not going to be able to sell them later down the line, whenever you could end up selling them later down the line and help yourself to end up getting the next best card that's set 2 or set 3 or whenever it is. But just make sure you guys are staying locked in and you're not selling a lot of these cards. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, make sure you guys drop a like and a sub as we're on the road to 10K subscribers. I'll talk to you boys later. Have a great rest of your day, and peace.